Chris, what is our fourth main topic today?
So my apologies. Colin Farrell lost to Austin Butler.
Yeah, Austin Butler in the other category.
My bad. I lumped them all together like the Oscars. Jennifer C. says, hi, everyone. John, I know you don't really care about the Golden Globes, but something pretty historic happened at the ceremony.
Oh, yeah, there we are. Okay.
Something pretty historic happened at the ceremony last night that I thought you should talk about. Angela Bassett won Best Supporting Actress for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, which makes her the first actor ever to win one of the major acting awards for a Marvel movie. DC had Heath and Phoenix, but this is the first one for Marvel. How important do you think this is? Thanks.
All right. Thanks a lot for saying that in. And you know what? It was interesting because in the lead up to award season, a lot of us have talked about Angela Bassett should be a front runner. Because despite the fact that I did not love Black Panther Wakanda Forever, I liked it, but I didn't love it. Angela Bassett, like every moment, whether she's addressing the UN or addressing her own people or whatever, she brought a regalness.
Oh yeah.
To that thing, right? And when a performer can do that, like you elevate whatever you're in. And Angela Bassett elevated that movie. And that's why we've been talking for so long about how she's got to be considered a front runner for the Academy Awards. So we go into the Golden Globes and she wins this. And despite the fact that you're right, I don't have a lot of love in my heart for the Golden Globes. The reality is SAG, Golden Globes, Academy Awards, those are considered to be the main acting. Whether it should be or not is up for debate, but it is. Those are considered the main acting awards. Those are the three that actors want to win the most. And while we have had Heath Ledger win an Academy Award and others for his role as Joker, deservedly so. A lot of people saying, he only won it because he died. No. He was going to win that.
Come on.
He was going to win that award anyway.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we had Joaquin Phoenix the other year win the big awards for playing Joker. Despite the fact that Marvel has had some of the all-time great actors in history. We talked about the other day, Anthony Hopkins, Sir Ben Kingsley, Robert Redford. I mean, on and on and on. A who's who of what's going on. Never has this expansive MCU, which did have a Best Picture nomination.
Sure.
But never has anybody in a Marvel Cinematic Universe film won one of the major acting awards until now. Angela Bassett takes home Best Supporting Actress in any motion picture. It wasn't just musical or comedy or drama. She took that home, and I think she has to be considered the front runner going into the Academy Awards as well. And I will tell you what, I think this is an incredibly significant thing. Because, Rob, you and I have talked about this a lot over the years. Like, I believe there was an era, obviously, when awards bodies like the Oscars, the Golden Globes, or even SAG kind of looked at comic book films as second-class citizens. I believe that's changed over the years. And I think seeing things like Joaquin Phoenix winning or Black Panther being nominated or Logan being nominated for Best Screenplay or whatever, and now we have Angela Bassett, I feel like those pre-existing prejudices against comic book films are like, hey, that's gone now. Angela Bassett gave the best performance by a supporting actress this year. She wins. And I think this is also very significant for Marvel moving forward. Like, this is their first big win for something like this. I don't think Kevin Feige is going to say it publicly, but I think this is very important for Kevin Feige. I think he takes this as a huge badge of legitimacy of what Kevin Feige has almost single-handedly evolved the comic book genre into. And yeah, as far as significance, I think it's huge. Rob, you've also been calling. She's going to win Best Supporting Actress. She did here at the Golden Globes, probably a front runner going to the office. How significant do you think this is?
Well, I think it's significant in a lot of respects. I mean, obviously, it's not just box office success that comic book movies have had, but both Black Panther movies have some very interesting things to say about non-comic book topics, like colonization. And this Wakanda Forever had a lot of really interesting stuff going on politically about these two emerging nations. And let's face it, Angela Bassett was playing a grieving mother. Now, you can take that away and be like, oh, it's just a comic book movie. But if you were to strip away the comic book nature of this film and take it out of the Marvel milieu and told the same story, I think it would be powerful. I think it would be emotional. And I think that just because she's in a comic book movie does not render the work that she was doing, the powerful work, the emotional work that she was doing, if it wasn't a comic book film, she would have been bringing that same intensity. So she didn't phone in her performance. This performance was, I called it once, ferocious. I mean, she is incredible in this movie, and probably her performances maybe even transcends what the movie itself is. She's so good in it, and why not? And I loved her seeing her getting up on stage and saying, you know, I think the last time I was here was in 1994 with What's Love Got to Do
when
with
she played
It.
Tina
She
Turner.
won an Oscar for
So
it.
she's never phoned in a performance. I mean, she's for the last more than 25 years has been kicking ass and taking names, you know. And isn't it ironic that with all, she already won an Oscar, and it took her being in a Marvel movie to get recognition? I think this has a lot to say about Marvel movies and their casts, and it's all good.
Chris, again, like Angela Bassett wins, not a big surprise, but we are reminded this is the first time we're coming up on 30 MCU films with some of the biggest stars of today and of all time that have been there. This is the first major acting award for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Was it the right win? How significant is this for Marvel itself? How do you see it?
I mean, she's incredible in this film. She really, really carries it. She has all the heavy lifting in this, in my opinion. And I think it's such a beautiful performance. And I would love if she wins an Oscar for it. I think that'd be fantastic. I'm really, really excited for her. I'm sure she's going to get a SAG award. I think this goes back to something that we talk about on the show all the time, is that genre doesn't determine merit. It does not. You know, a comic book movie can move you, just like how a sci-fi film can move you. It's about great storytelling. It doesn't matter what kind of vessel they do for it. You know, Guillermo del Toro talked about this when he accepted his award for Pinocchio. A medium also doesn't determine the merit of something. Animation can tell beautiful storytelling. Pinocchio is not for kids. I'm so glad he mentioned that so much last night, because I can't imagine how many families sat down to that and were like, oh no, we're opening with Nazis? Intense. But having her win this, and having people like Heath Ledger, having Joaquin Phoenix win awards for acting and playing roles so truthfully, so raw, so real, that just happened to come from the pages of comic books initially, goes to show you that great storytelling is everywhere all around you, and it just needs a deft hand. And that's what they did here.
And by the way, just a quick fact check. So while Angela Bassett did win, I believe, a Golden Globe for What's Love Got to Do, she did not win the Oscar. She was nominated for the Oscar for that, but she didn't win that. But guess what? That looks like that's going to get corrected here in a couple of months too, heading into that. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? Angela Bassett takes home the Golden Globe, one of the major acting awards, for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but it marks the first time that an MCU actor has won one of the major acting awards. How significant is that? Maybe you think there's no significance to it. Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. We want to thank one of the sponsors of this video, ExpressVPN. Guys, you ever hear of data brokers? They're the middlemen collecting and selling all those digital footprints you leave online. They can stitch together detailed profiles which include your browsing history, online searches, and location data. They then sell your profile off to a company who delivers you a targeted ad. No biggie, right? Well, you might be surprised to learn that these same data brokers are also selling your information to government agencies like the Department of Homeland Security and the IRS. And you don't want the tax man showing up your door because of some search you did on your phone. So mask your digital footprints and protect yourself with ExpressVPN. One of the easiest ways for brokers to aggregate data and tie it back to you is through your device's unique IP address, which also reveals information about your location. When you're connected to ExpressVPN, your IP address is hidden. That makes it much more difficult for data brokers to identify who you are. ExpressVPN also encrypts 100% of network traffic to keep your data safe from hackers on public Wi-Fi. So make sure your online activity and data is protected with the best VPN money can buy. Visit expressvpn.com/Campea right now and get 3 extra months free through my special link. That's expressvpn.com/Campea.